Hey, what's up guys? Sir Emanon here, back with another episode and a brand new series of Road to 1000 Dueling Book Rating. So if you guys aren't familiar with the series, basically it's exactly what's written in the title, where I just play a bunch of games on Dueling Book's rated system to try and climb to 1000 rating. Kind of an arbitrary number, but it is, sort of just a progression series to where you guys can see me actually play some games with the decks I feature on the channel, and just general gameplay that I feel is missing from the Yu-Gi-Oh community, at least on a competitive scale. So yeah, that's basically the gist of the series, and the reason why we are in a new season now is obviously today is when the ban list is effective, meaning that Dueling Book has reset their ladder. Everyone has started at a 100 rating. And now we are trying to climb again. I did not upload frequently enough during the last time, or during the last season, I should say. So I'm going to definitely be uploading more of this series more frequently, so you guys can expect to see that more often. And yeah, if you guys are new here, definitely feel free to subscribe if you want to see informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. I would appreciate that very much. And I also have a very exciting announcement for those of you guys who aren't already aware. So I actually have been just recently affiliated with TCGplayer, which, as many of you guys probably already know, is an independent marketplace for buying and selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and in fact other trading card games as well. But yeah, I'm sure many of you guys already use TCGplayer, but it's a service that I've used for myself for a very, very long time, not just for buying cards on my own, but also because I like to use their topping deck lists feature, which is a very, very useful way for me to keep up with the metagame myself, as well as for me to compile information for my discussion videos, which I often find very, very useful. And since I don't tend to buy a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh product in general, I like to buy singles a lot more. I use TCGplayer for a lot of my purposes on a personal level. So I'm very, very excited to be working with them. I really, really am just a big fan of the way that they run things and their overall vision and mission as a whole. So yeah, I actually now do have an official TCGplayer link, which will be in the description of every video from now on, and it'll also be in a pinned comment of this video. So if you guys want to help support me and this channel, use the link in the description as well as the pinned comment, as I just said, if you want to shop for cards that you already would have bought. For no additional cost on your end, you can help support me if you just buy anything from TCGplayer. A portion of that goes right back into the channel, which will be very, very helpful for me to improve the quality of these videos in general, as well as other, other ideas that I intend on incorporating in the future, which I think is super, super awesome. But enough of me talking here. It's been like 3 minutes, solid 3 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and get into the actual gameplay here. So this is going to be me playing against Orcust, and I'm trying a new build of Lunalights for this format. Now I have a lot of different build ideas, as you guys already are probably aware of, but this is one of the more interesting ones that some people have actually requested a deck list of or gameplay of or more information in general. So here is my Lunalight Pendulum deck, and it's still very much in the testing phase, and it's by no means optimized, but I think this game is also a very, very good showcase of what the deck is capable of doing. So yeah, we are playing against Orcust, pure Orcust that is. You guys are probably already aware of how good the pure Orcust deck is after the ban list, obviously, because of the fact that, Mermaid was really the only thing that got hit as far as the engine is concerned, but the pure deck can still run like scrap recyclers and mathematicians and all that stuff. So anyways, let's just get into the actual gameplay here, finally. All right, so we are actually going first, so this allows me to kind of just test the limits of my deck building process. And shout out to my opponent here. He actually told me he is a viewer of my content, which I appreciate very much. So if you're watching this, man, definitely shout outs to you, and thank you for watching my content. But anyways, we have a very, very explosive hand right here. So the idea of this deck basically is to utilize Servant as much as you can. Servant is a very, very powerful card, obviously in normal Pendulum builds, or like Zephyrs or Magicians or Endymion, Pure, any variant of Pendulums is taking use of this card. And for good reason. It's very, very good to play around hand traps, and it's just a way to be able to resolve Electromite a lot easier prior to Pendulum summoning or committing to a larger play. And this is a card that demands an answer immediately, which is a very, very good thing for this deck, because if this gets stopped, then you still have Lunalight cards to fall back on, which I feel is very, very awesome. We also have Chronograph Sorcerer here, which is a very, very good way to combo with Servant, and Time Gazer plays around Ghost Server on it, which is super cool. It also plays around Ogre on Tiger, which is cool, because Time Gazer's effect in the Monster Zone prevents your scales from being destroyed the first time by an opponent's card effect each turn, which is super, super useful. And the idea with Servant in this deck in particular is that not only do we have cards like Tenki and Foolish Burial Goods and Perfume, but we also have Tiger, of course, and the interaction with Martin allows us to have 2 counters on Servant for basically for free if you just open up the basic combo. So it's like an extender, but it's in the biggest way possible because it also puts a threatening body on the board and can help you, go into a large variety of plays. Electromite is super good for being able to grab you Tiger if you don't already open it. Or in other cases, you can also do really cool things like popping Tiger to add it back, which allows you to draw a card and get another summon and reuse your Tiger. So it's like a +3 essentially just off of doing nothing. And it has a lot of very good synergy as far as, both parts of the deck require answers to be stopped. So yeah, that's my kind of general synopsis of the deck. And I apologize that I'm still talking and not actually getting to the games. It's been like 6 minutes already, but yeah, let's just go ahead and get started here. So obviously going to scale Servant first because we want all the counters on it. Gonna activate our Tenki. And the cool thing with Electromite is it can pop Tenkis if you want to complete your scales and you obviously don't want to like leave or rather like get rid of them and you like don't have a Tiger to start with. You can like get there with Tenki, which is pretty cool. Or if you just need to complete your scale, that can help you as well. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and scale our Chronograph, which allows us to grab our Time Gazer. And like I said, this monster allows you to protect your Pendulum Scales the first time each turn by an opponent's card effect, as far as destruction is concerned. So now we're going to normal summon our Kaleido Chick and use its effect to dump our Martin. Nothing too suspect here. We're going to scale our Tiger and bring it back. And we already have 3 counters. If we didn't have, like, say, either Chronograph or Tenki, well, Tenki I guess we would need for this combo, but like if we didn't have the Chronograph, say for example, we could use the Martin to bounce the Tiger and just rescale the Tiger and have 3 counters anyway. So it's just 2 counters for free like I mentioned earlier, and I think that's very, very, very valuable. But now we're going to go ahead and activate our Servant effect in the scale to bring out Jackal King, which is very, very useful. And here I'm contemplating going into Azathoth, but the problem here is kind of like I have to get rid of my counters for Jackal, which is kind of counterintuitive, and in some ways it defeats the purpose, but in other ways it's fine because we even if this gets stopped, like we still have other plays available to us, so it's totally okay. We can use Electromite to send a Dark Worm just to have an additional Pendulum in our extra deck just in case we need follow-up later on. Not necessary right now, but here I go into a 4 Strix play. I believe my opponent just straight up tells me he doesn't have hand traps, so we just kind of go in. I kind of want to just test limits with this deck, to be honest. So if this isn't the safest line to play, then that definitely explains why. But yeah, we're going to use Electromite, like I said earlier, to pop the Tiger and add that same Tiger right back. So we can go Chainlink 1 Electromite, Chainlink 2 Tiger, to bring back the Kaleido Chick that we detached off the 4 Strix, and then draw ourselves a Spell Power Mastery, which is pretty good. It gives us more counters for our Jackal King and allows us to add Endymion to hand, which will actually contribute to the end board here. So we're going to dump another Martin with our Kaleido Chick that we brought back off of the popped Tiger from Electromite, and we still haven't even used Martin's effect, which is crazy. But we're going to use Tiger's effect in scale to bring back the Martin and go into an Appaloosa straight away. This Appaloosa has 3 negations. Then we're going to use Mastery to add ourselves a Mighty Master, a big Endymion, putting even more counters on our Jackal. So this is definitely going to reach over 6 counters to be able to just bring out the Mighty Master from the scale later on. But for now, we're just going to Pendulum Summon 1 since we have a 5 scale and an 8 scale. So you do actually get to Pendulum Summon quite a bit with this deck because Tiger doesn't actually restrict you into the Lunalight archetype for some reason. Like Wolf does, but Tiger does not. So for some reason, they decided to keep Tiger generic in that aspect too. So that's kind of insane. But yeah, we're going to special our Chronograph because it is a dark spellcaster. So this will allow us to get into our Curious. And even though we already drew the order, which is our typical target to send off of Curious, I decided to go for it anyway because I need a way to get Zephyrs out of the hand anyways. So I'm gonna send a Lunalight Perfume just to have follow up on future turns. It's not really necessary for this play right now, but it definitely could get us there. I wind up using Griffin. I put it in this zone instead of co-linking it to the Appaloosa because I can get a rank 4 on board by pitching the Zephyrs and then using the Zephyrs to bounce Tiger, so that's 2 level 4s right there. And also, I'm able to use the Endymion and the Scale to get rid of the 6 counters in Jackal King, which will put it on the field as well. So everything has to be linked somehow. So I need 3 zones available because if I put Griffin in the middle, like right below Appaloosa, that would mean that my rank 4 would be like say next to it, but my Endymion would be farther away but not linked to anything, so it actually can't activate or negate anything. Like it would still have its protection clause available, but it would not be able to negate any spells or traps. So small note to make there is that that's the reason why I didn't co-link my Griffin to get the extra draw here. I figured that this would be more valuable, and I set Mastery just as an extra follow-up. Probably should have set Perfume instead. It would be more beneficial, I guess, to have the Lunalight setup, but another argument could be made that the Mastery that I set would allow us to get another Servant so we can Pendulum Summon again, because we already have like multiple things we can Pendulum Summon here from this extra deck, which is pretty good as well. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and summon our Zephyros using its own effect, and then scaling the Tiger to bring back Emerald Bird, and we're going to make an Evil Swarm Nightmare. I don't know what he's playing, so blind, I feel like this is fine. Dweller is also okay. It just kind of depends on how I feel the format shapes up later on. But for now, I think this is fine. And we're going to finally remove our 6 counters from Endymion, special it, and then set our Imperial Order. So we have an Imperial Order set. We have Nightmare Griffin, which is for the most part stopping his special summon monsters. Obviously, Appaloosa is giving him a zone, but generally speaking, he is unable to really get a whole lot done unless if, like, in an extended play, like maybe he could get a linked monster, you know, there, like across from the Appaloosa, but after that, it gets a lot harder. We have a monster negate in Jackal King, we have a spell trap negate in Endymion, I already mentioned Order, and we have Appaloosa for 3 negates for monsters, and then we have Evil Swarm Nightmare to book stuff. So this is a very powerful board, and very difficult to crack. So yeah, my opponent starts off with an Orchestrated Return, and I decide to just flip up the order right away. He doesn't know that I have it because I didn't actually set it off the Griffin or anything. And now his hand of Instant and Foolish are dead, and his Armageddon Knight's obviously going to get negated, and by Appaloosa, and then Harp will get negated as well, or like Jackal as well. So there's like so many things, there's so many negations, and he can't play through that, understandably. Like it's very hard for a deck to be able to play through all of that, which is just insane. But yeah, that's kind of just a glimpse of the ceiling of this deck. Like it's a very high ceiling for sure. And it looks like my replay is bugging out, so I'm going to try and fix that, and I'll get back to you guys in just a bit. Alright guys, we're back, and I apologize that now the names are flipped. Oops. The reason being is that I had to go onto yugioh and get the replay from there. For some reason, it was just not displaying the it wasn't displaying the replay of game 2, and I don't know why. For like, if I went to my own duel records, it just didn't work. I literally have no idea why, but yeah, so I'm going to be on the top here, and my opponent's gonna be in the bottom. I have no idea why this is, but nothing I can do about it, and I tried everything. I tried using it on different browsers, and it just wasn't working. I don't know why, but anyways, my opponent's gonna start off with Scrap Recycler, and he's going to dump an Orcust Nightmare. He's playing multiple Brass Bombard, which is pretty interesting, but he's gonna 1-for-1 next. Then he'll make a Galatea. He's gonna go Nightmare to dump a Wand, and he's going to bring it back off the Wand's effect, bring back the Nightmare, that is. He's going to set an Orchestrated Return to maybe dig for more cards, and he's going to use it and draw a Nibiru and another Harp. Pretty interesting, but he doesn't really have anything to do on my turn. Like, he doesn't have Babel or Crescendo, so like his end board here is going to be pretty weak. So yeah, he's going to go and make a Bomber and a Dingirsu, and he's going to go Channel 1 Bomber, Channel 2 Dingirsu, and then Resolution Dingirsu is going to detach the symbol. So that's what happens there. But I have a very good time playing around both of these. So I start off with a Servant, I believe, or not Servant, a Spell Power Mastery, and he ashes that right away. But I have a full Lunalight combo, so we're able to just chill here. I go in Dragon Shrine for a Dark Worm. I bring it back, I add Gate 0, And then from here, it's just basically standard Chick Tiger shenanigans. So we're going to go ahead and Storm Chick, dump Martin, bring it back off the Tiger. Tengu is going to summon Emerald Bird. What I should have probably done here was actually search another Tiger. Because what I do here is I go Nyarla to pitch the Emerald Bird, which is okay. But what I should have done instead was I should have actually discarded a Tiger with this, what's it called? With this Nyarla instead of the Emerald Bird. Because what I do here is I like reattach it off the Nyarla, which is fine, and I search a Serenade Dance. But what I could have done is like use Martin after I summon Azathoth, and then make a generic Link 2, and then use Tiger to bring back the other Tiger, and then make Electromite underneath the Link 2. So that would have actually gotten my play started a lot easier. But instead what I do is I go Cerberus to target the Dingirsu just to get Serenade Dance Engrave. Obviously you can still use Dingirsu's protection effect under Azathoth because it doesn't activate. But here I just try and still set up pretty well. Now I dump a Tiger off the Tiger, and then I go Tiger to special this Tiger back. So I mean, it ended up being okay. I just had to like do extra steps to make it work. But yeah, now I make Electromite, and then I put a Servant there in the extra deck. Doesn't really matter because I'm going to add back a Tiger anyway off of it. And then use same Chain Links, and then draw a Chronograph Sorcerer, which is pretty cool. Dumping a Yellow Martin off the second Chick, and then searching a Zephyros off the fourth Strix. And yeah, we're gonna bring back more stuff. We're just able to really pop off here. I can Pendulum Summon a bunch here, so I have scale 0 to 5, so I can Pendulum Summon the Zephyros out of my hand, and I can get the Dark Worm out. I can get I believe, yeah, a Tiger and a Servant out of my extra deck. So like I have literally everything that I need. This is more than enough to be able to OTK with Boral Sword, because I still haven't used Zephyros yet either. So Zephyros can bring back Tiger, I can rescale it, and then just do a lot of stuff. I summon a Dweller just cause. Probably should have not done it the way I did it, but that's okay. I probably should have just overlaid with the Chick since it couldn't attack anyway, but I was going to just make a Phoenix. But yeah, this is like way over game, and this deck actually can perform pretty well going second if it draws a lot of its engine cards, which I feel is pretty similar to what I've been saying about Dark Lunalights in general. But yeah, I'm going to be showcasing the deck list that I use and talking a little bit about it at the end here. See you guys in just a bit. Alright, so here is the deck list on paper, and one thing to note is that in the games that I played early on, I didn't play Barricade Board Blocker. For some reason, I played B-Cup instead. I thought the areas would be more relevant for like Pendulum Summoning and stuff, but it turns out really it just doesn't come up as much as I think. This being a machine really helps because B-Cup's a Fiend, which means that it kind of conflicts sometimes with Azathoth if you want to make Curious. And also its effect obviously is very good, just for getting Serenade Dances and Zephyrus out of your hand. But yeah, this is like the general list. Things I would maybe make changes to is actually I re-edited it off just for the sake of this video to show you guys what I did play. But things I would consider is adding an Allure of Darkness, simply because you can brick on like your Endymion like your Servant targets, as well as Gate 0 and Time Gazer Magician. Those are cards you generally don't want to draw. And just being able to get into like your Lunalight combo pieces a lot faster is pretty good. Additionally, it's a very good way to be able to see side deck cards more. And I think it's overall pretty versatile in terms of being able to like add more counters to Servant and stuff. Upstart in a similar vein does like another, so, you know, pretty similar purposes. And yeah, the side deck could be worked on. I just kind of threw together something pretty generic, and you know, it is a little bit admittedly thrown together, but that could be worked on, especially once the format develops. I just kind of wanted to test the main deck more than anything. And Tiger King could also be a good choice for specifically not Danger Thunder, just Thunder Dragon, like Pure Thunder. But I don't think it's like super necessary. Obviously, this build loses harder to it than normal Lunalights because you have Mastery as well. But you can kind of circumvent that a little bit. If you don't draw too many of these, it's okay. Foolish Goods is still live, obviously, because of Serenade Dance, so you can still keep going. And yeah, overall, I just think it's like super nice. Another thing to consider is like a small Mythical Beast package. Obviously, it conflicts with Servant, but it's just nice to be able to bring off of it. Sometimes like having like a Cerberus or a Garuda to be able to like out problem cards. like those can definitely be useful and like make Jackal King have like dual purpose. So yeah, definitely some changes that could be made. I was playing Curtain Raiser and I still kind of do like it. There are some cases, however, where it does conflict with like a lot of the other stuff. Like for example, Shrine and Foolish for Darkworm stuff. Like that's something you would much rather resolve than Curtain Raiser. But Curtain Raiser does have nice utility in being able to be like another chronograph almost, in that it like leaves the scale and puts the body on the board for free. It is a 4 as well, so helps you make like Azathot and Force Tricks and things like that. It's Dark Fiend too. So yeah, there's definitely merits to be able to play like all those cards, but I think that this is a pretty good skeleton 40 card list to be able to initially work with, and then we could perhaps debate on like testing more stuff later. I also thought about cutting Perfume down maybe to 2. It seems kind of blasphemous, and my heart can't really do it right now, but there are times where this is a lot less useful, especially in your opening hand, but it is a lot better in the grind game, unlike in normal Lunalights where this is like really good either way. But like it does help enable counters for Servant, so I'm hesitant to cut it right now, but it can definitely be a bit of a hindrance when you like don't see Kaleido Chick, especially because like that's the only way this card is really live. And I know that's not like a reason to not run 3 of a card, but it definitely in this build can come up more often where this is board dead, because you don't have dangers to just like constantly filter or like get this out of your hand. So yeah, that definitely can be an issue. Another thing is like maybe 3 Darkworm is too much, because you don't really want to be normal summoning it as much as like Kaleido Chick and stuff. But it is nice to be able to just have more pendulums, because you do sometimes not have the resources to be able to make Electromite, especially if you don't draw Servant. Like you can actually summon Tiger off Tiger to be able to do that a bunch of times, as you guys saw in that game too there, but there are definitely cases where you just want more names, like Pendulum, like cards, just in general. So that's the reason why I was kind of running Curtain Raiser for a while too. But yeah, this is definitely a very good starting point, I feel, for this deck, and it can definitely be optimized and improved on for sure. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like, as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comment section down below. Feel free to subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. And if you want to, you can follow me on Discord, Twitter, or Twitch. All 3 links are going to be in the description as always. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.